Okay, guys, it's been a while, like 2 years or something, but let's just forget about that. So, most Cities Skylines 2 players think traffic is caused by bad roads. They're wrong. Today, we're going over the biggest myths in Cities Skylines 2, from traffic and public transit to the reason your late game city is lacking. So, let's start. First of all, traffic. Lots of people think that traffic is caused by bad roads, but in reality, it's caused by land usage. Please, guys, I beg you, don't put your industry in one area, homes in one area, and shopping in another. Try to spread things out and have multiple connections. That's the cause of many traffic problems that are so preventable. Next, lots of people tend to think that they need more lanes in order to fix a traffic problem. But that's just simply not true. Don't have the American mindset. You don't always need 10-lane highways and 8-lane roads everywhere. Most of the time, as I just said, traffic problems either lie in poor land usage or bad intersections. Focus on your intersections, land usage, and please, please, please use proper road hierarchy, which I will be talking about later. Make sure your merges are good as well. Like, make sure your lane math works out and there aren't a bunch of lanes that just abruptly cut off. Make sure that your intersections are fairly spaced out. Don't build roundabouts all the time. Maybe experiment, because sometimes roundabouts actually worsen traffic problems, and traffic lights are better. So yeah, the number of lanes usually isn't the problem, unless there's like a clear bottleneck because there aren't enough lanes. Next, lots of people say, oh, I built a public transit network, so traffic should disappear. Nuh-uh. It's not as simple as that. Public transit only works if tickets don't cost $1 trillion, stations are near where people start, and stations are near where people want to go. Don't pull an Amtrak and build stations in the most random dead space. Also, unlike Amtrak, make sure that service is frequent and transfers are convenient. With trains, there's a problem where they just get stuck at the station. That's because they're waiting for every passenger to get on, even ones that are like a mile away. For systems like trains, have a good bus network as well so you can funnel people into your train station. Implement walkability and biking as well to make walking/biking to your stations easier. Also, to fix that problem, you can also decrease the frequency of trains because you don't need 1 trillion trains piling up at a station. In short, a public transit line that doesn't connect destinations properly can carry very few passengers. If you've learned something so far, then please consider clicking the like button and subscribing. It really helps me out. Back to the video. Next, lots of people love placing down tons of low density housing. Unless you want to build a car dependent North American city, then don't make half of your map covered with suburban homes. You basically get infinite low density demand. Remember, demand is a suggestion of what you should build, not a command. It's better to incorporate more medium and high density housing in your city, because then everything will be more compact, making trips shorter, things like service costs decrease, etc. Definitely some things you want. Of course, it's okay to build some low density housing, but don't go overboard. If you're going to build mixed density housing, make sure not to build too much of it, because it can cause your commercial demand to go away for a long time, which is not ideal if you are trying to grow your city. Much healthier cities are created if they're not just suburban sprawl. Next, for some reason, lots of people don't use proper road hierarchy. I have no idea why, but please, I'm begging you, every city in the world uses road hierarchy. So clearly it works. Don't connect everything to everything. Make sure your roads go from highways, which should not have any intersections at all, just exits, to arterial roads, which have very limited intersections, to highways and collectors, which are our next group. These collectors should intersect arterial roads and local roads. Otherwise, if you're not going to follow this road hierarchy, I would be very surprised if you don't run into traffic issues. Lots of people think cars are the enemy, so they try to eliminate cars completely in their city. Do not do that. That is another myth. Buses, delivery trucks, and emergency vehicles all need roads. Also, Either way, you will still have people commuting via car, and that's okay because that's how a normal city operates. It's ideal to have a balance of options to travel by car and to travel by walking, biking, or public transit, because that's how a good city works. You should try to minimize the amount of traffic, but don't try to outlaw cars. That's simply just not going to work. Next, lots of people think that industrial traffic is unavoidable. Well, guess what? It is avoidable. Many players, for some reason, just place industrial zoning wherever they want, but you should not do that. The game is super harsh on air pollution, so legitimately, placing industrial in the wrong area of your city can kill your whole city. Trucks shouldn't be driving in the center of your city, so that's why you have to place industrial zoning near highways, while also placing down cargo terminals nearby. Try to shorten freight routes too, so this means having an interconnected highway and rail network, as well as a shipping port and an airport. Doing these things can remove huge amounts of truck traffic, which is huge for fixing traffic problems in your city. Next, for some reason, lots of people think traffic is permanently fucked over in their city, so they crash out. Well, the thing is, some traffic spikes are temporary. Once you zone a new district, expect some extra traffic from people moving into your city. If you give the game some time, it'll resolve itself eventually. Don't give the game too much time, because you've got to steadily build out your city, so just be wary of this. Even though some traffic spikes are temporary, you still have got to improve your intersections, have lots of public transit options, and more. The second to last myth is that when your city gets too populated, your game starts to slow down because of a GPU bottleneck. The truth is that this is a CPU bottleneck. I see lots of new players get frustrated over this, but the truth is you have to have a super strong CPU to run Cities Skylines 2 comfortably. Your computer has to simulate the lives of tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of lives at once. And so that's very intensive on your CPU. So lowering your graphics won't help too much because the bottleneck lies in the simulation of the game. If I go from very low settings to high settings, my FPS or simulation speed does not decrease, at least not notably. Lastly, lots of people think that if servers buildings are located close to a certain place and or they have plenty of processing capacity in cases of services like death care and garbage, then they're good. You might be going, yeah, I am though, what's your point? Well, that's not necessarily true. Service coverage depends a lot on vehicle availability, traffic conditions, service capacity, and road access. If you have a fire station 100 feet away from a place, but all of your fire trucks are out and traffic is gridlocked, well, that neighborhood is cooked. So that is why it is so important to build a great road network in your city. If you don't have a good road network, consider yourself deep fried. Don't just look at where a service building is, but also whether or not it can reach people. Did you enjoy this video? Well, like, subscribe, and comment down below. See you next week.